Hi guys and welcome to THFC Till I Die, the home of Tottenham past, present and an exciting future under somebody. Ange who knows? Even Kev could be coming in as Spurs manager next season. Maybe even me, Colin and Tequila could be coming in as Spurs manager next season. Even Mrs. Tron could be taking over the team. If they do, then we would win the quadruple because she's that good of a manager. She definitely would whip them players into shape. She wouldn't take any BS from them, and they definitely would be working hard. But that's in the land of the future we're talking about now, and we're talking about Ange Talk Spurs again. We're covering Ange's post-match conference again of the Bournemouth game today. Kev's joining me again. Kev, the last stream of the day of match day. Match day used to be for me, watch along, that was it. Now it is match days are busy now, player ratings, covering the press conference as well before. But you got to put in the work, haven't you? You got to do it. You got to do it, and you've got to put in the work. And that is why please like, please subscribe, please hit the notification bell. We're not backed by any big companies. We're backed by ourselves. So do pick up memberships as well if you can, guys, and do link up to our magic
Match day magic. You're getting tired,
Match
Dermo.
day magic. You can tell I'm tired. Match day magic for big up, and also hit the notification, hit the link below for our channel sponsor, Private Internet Access, which is there on the bottom of my screen. That's our channel sponsor. €45 for 2 years plus 4 months free because we like you. Right. This is Ange's press conference. Firstly, Kev, how are you this evening, sir, or this morning?
Not too bad, Mr. Dermot. And do you know what? I was just smiling when you mentioned about Mrs. Tron taking over Spurs, because I think an Irish mammy, as we know, is absolutely lethal within 5 feet with a wooden spoon. And I don't know if you had something similar when you were a youngster, but they had a talent for finding the most whippy stick ever if you were being old. And they always had them in plentiful supply. So, do you know, Irish mammies taking over clubs, I think could start a lot of problems, because
I also there is a saying here in Ireland: behind every good Irishman, there's a very strong Irish woman. And do you know what? Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that. There is a lot said. Well, Mrs. Tron is the boss of THFC till I die. I know that. All the lads here know that Mrs. Tron's the boss. She's looking at me, sort of making sure I'm doing my job correctly. I'll be getting the pre-match review after this. How did I perform? Well, listen, let's crack on with it and let's start. And we're going to start with this with Romero. And I think this shows utter disrespect to Tottenham, to the medical team, to us fans as well. Many people will probably disagree with me in the comments below, but I think this is utterly disrespectful. Romero has said on X, thankful to the physios at Argentinian for getting me out of a bad moment and putting me back on the field where I am so happy. Thank you all for your continued support. That's a bit of a kick in the teeth to the Tottenham medical team and Tottenham Football Club as a whole, isn't it? Tottenham Hotspur Football Club as a whole.
Absolutely. And Dermotron, I think the big thing here is not only has he, I suppose, taken a shot at the Tottenham organization, because I think that's what you have to describe it as, is a shot.
Yeah.
It's now a story that's been picked up by the Red Tops. And as you know, they are vultures, Dermot. And when they get involved and pick up a story, they're going to run with it until there's no leeway left in it. As I'm just looking here now quickly, I typed in on Google machine about Romero and Argentina physios, and there's 10 articles alone already been generated out of that Twitter comment. The Standard has a full spread on it that essentially takes all the quotations and whatnot in there. So he's after creating a problem now for Ange.
Yeah.
And I would wonder, after he comes back from Argentinian duty, could we see that Mr. Romero, Jesus, I'm getting tired. accidentally has another soft tissue injury that rules him out the rest of the season. Because
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Well, talking about Mr. Ange Postecoglou, talking about the man himself, let's get on to see what he was talking about. And this was the first question. Sorry, Match Day Magic. We do have to move you out of the way because we can't see the questions. Not fair on the people who are watching us, so we will bring you back. The first question was asking the press conference. It says that felt like a chaotic match, but you must be happy with the spirit shown in getting a point. Basically, he says that, yeah, chaotic game for sure. We added to the chaos. It was a little bit self-inflicted, especially in the first half. Just with the ball, we are really careless with our passing and just allowed the game to be played on the terms of Bournemouth. We like their transition football. So, yeah, chaotic at 2-0 down. It would have been very, very easy, particularly with the atmosphere as it was, for the boys just to let the game get away from us. But credit to them, they found a way to get back into the game, and we got something out of this. I want to pick two things out of this before we move on to the next one. A, is he having a go at the fans? Because he says in there, particularly with the atmosphere as it was. And B, is he missing the point that we were absolutely damn awful before that? So is he missing? Is he A, having to go with the fans, and B, just missing the point how bad we were?
I definitely think there's a shot at the fans and what he perceives as their lack of getting behind the team. That's kind of clear from the verbiage that's inside in that particular part of his press conference. But I would like to pick up another thing that I've noticed with Ange press conferences in my short time paying detailed attention to them, as they say. Do you remember in Ireland, we used to have politicians that used to say a lot of words, and they used to be coming out of their mouth like there was 1999, and they used to say that, and now Dermot, and they'd spit out about a book.
What do you
words.
mean used to? They still do.
Well, they still do.
Have you seen Miha Martin recently talking about Doncaster Rovers and Column? And Column's got, I mean, do you know, couldn't even answer about Doncaster Rovers. Big up to Doncaster Rovers, getting another mentioned in our parliament. But yeah, they still do it, but I get your point.
Yeah, but essentially, there's a lot of words, but there's no real substance behind the words. I can't remember whether it was Mick McCarthy or Brian Kerr. They used to never have any actual answer to the question that was asked at the end of the at their reply to the question. But now, it's not quite as bad as that and what Ange just said here. But you know, it's like, in a way, what he said is, well, there's spud and mash.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting from it. Like, he hasn't really kind of dived into the spirit of the team. He hasn't given credit to anyone. He hasn't said, oh, when I introduced Sonny, this kind of inspired the lads around. And there was no kind of real substance to the reply. No, this is Managers 101. He's not the only one that does it. So I'm not going to knock him on that. But there's a lot of words, but no substance.
Yeah. And a knock at the fans. So that's what we can take from that first question. Danny was asked, what did you think about Solanke, Romero, and Van der Ven on the Premier League returns and the minutes they got? Now, he said, yeah, that was the key thing. They got minutes. Romero, just great to get him back out there. Yeah, I bet it was. He's such an important player for us, like fuck he is. But you could see he hasn't played for a while. No shit, Sherlock. You know, these are just, these are a 5-year-old could have actually answered that question for him in the first part of it. It's like, come up with something new. He's yeah, go on.
I'm going to ride into his defense in this one, and I'm actually going to criticize whichever reporter asked that question, because it's kind of like, what do you expect is going to happen when a player comes back from injury, for feck's sake? Like, come on. You're supposed to be a professional reporter that is interviewing these managers day in, day out as your bread and butter. And you ask, what do you think about their the minutes that they got? They came back from injury. They showed the classic ring rust. Come on, lads. You didn't even need to ask that question. I'm
Do
sorry,
you know
no,
what?
but
I find that there's a bit of Roy Keane about you. You're bringing the Roy Keane effort, like the Roy Keane sort of attitude. I like it. I like it. He said, I thought he grew into the game. I'd love to know who he was talking about because Romero did not grow into the game. As he grew into the game, I got a lot better as it went on. Yeah, like shit. Great for Dom. It was a great 90 minutes today. He's such a workhorse for us. I'm sure he'll feel better for that. Brilliant to get Mickey out there as well. I think before Thursday night, the key was for us to get some minutes into these guys. Thankfully, they've got through it unscathed. We won't spend too much onto it because you basically called the reporter an idiot, which he is, for asking such a stupid question. So I want to mark you out of 10 for questions. How bad is this out of 10 for question asking?
I'd be revoking his press pass at the end of the day. It's an absolute shambles. He failed to prepare, and he prepared to fail. An absolute joke of a reporter.
Right, we move on. We got here. What did you make of Lucas Bergvall's impact on the game? Ange said Lucas was great. He's been great. He has played a lot. We just got to be mindful of that. He's becoming an important player of our team. I thought he made a real big impact when he came on. Like I said, we were sloppy when we were on the ball in the first half, and he's the one who takes a bit more care with it. He is a technician and he carries the ball really well. I thought he and Sonny made really good impact when they came on. That is a proper question from a proper journalist. Big up to whoever asked that question. Top sub, you get 10 out of 10 from me. Lucas Bergvall, he's right to praise Bergvall how well he's played. He is giving Sonny credit there too. So, is he realizing that he's made a mistake? But what do you think he's trying to say with that answer if you're really looking into it?
I think when you're looking at that, you're looking at basically an assessment of this is the young player in their teens. And we've seen this by a lot of managers in the past where they talk about being careful with load management in terms of how many times they expose that particular player to competitive football and how many minutes they give them. Because at the end of the day, they're still developing into their physique at 17, 18, 19 years of age. They're not Dom Solanke. They're not a brick shithouse that, can kind of motor through a bit of fatigue. And the other side of it as well is there's mental fatigue to be considered as well, because again, they don't have the seasoned experience as some of the other pros around, like Son, who's done the 38th Premier League season games year in, year out. They've done all the additional cup games. They've basically won the t-shirt. And I think he's basically saying, I'm going to do what I need to do to ensure that we don't negatively affect a young player's development by being stupid. And we're going to play him where necessary. And if I think he's not in a state that he can acquit himself to the level that he expects of himself, I'm not going to put him out there.
No, I agree.
The one thing that I will be, I suppose, keeping an eye on is Mr. Bergvall's first touch. And I do hope that's something that he can kind of control a bit better. Because I don't know if you remember Mr. Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah.
The amount of chances that went awry. Now, obviously, Bergvall is a more defensively minded player, but the amount of issues that his touch caused him allowed opposition teams to kind of set themselves a bit better. So if they know 5 times out of 10 that Bergvall's touch is going to put the ball a foot and a half away from him, and it's going to take him 3 or 4 seconds to right himself, that gives seasoned pros a chance to react.
Yeah.
But I think Ange handled that question very well. He protected his young asset. He took the opportunity to mention the captain of his team, Mr. Son. And I think everything that was said about Bergvall today was fair.
Yeah, I think it was fair too. I think it was very fair. He really improved the team when he came on. He really made a difference, and that's why we give him an 8 in the player ratings, because I think he deserved that, and he's a really good player as well, Bergville. He reminds me a bit of Graham Roberts. There's a bit of Graham Roberts and Glenn Hoddle in him, but I think there's more. I'm more leaning on the side of Graham Roberts, how Graham Roberts used to play. I think, but he's got the technical ability of Glenn Hoddle or carrying the ball. He's only 18, so he's very talented. He really is. This question here is a bit of another stupid question, but we'll dissect it anyway. You had a lot of entertaining games, but that was chaotic. Was it what is the difference with that one compared to the other games? Is it about control? And he went, yeah, it just never felt like we had the control or the momentum or the fluency in the game to be able to still make it as a high tempo as possible. But without it, having the chaos of what we did today, because it ended up becoming a basketball game. And that really suits them. That's their kind of template. And you need to control the game more, which we want to do anyway. If you want to turn it into a game where it's high tempo but less chaotic as it was today, I think is he missing that he got his tactics wrong in there, or is he saying, look, it's just one of them games. We didn't play well. We let Bournemouth to, sort of stake the tempo of the game, and we let them play their game, and they pressed on to us how they want them to play, them to play. Or do you think he's making the sort of think, do you know what, I got my tactics slightly wrong today, and we will look at it and we will improve?
I think you have to look at it like this. Teams like Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth have both have their best seasons in a long time this year. Bournemouth obviously being the subject matter of today's game. And I don't know if you were watching the rugby yesterday, Dermo, but there's a particular part of it that I want to pick up on. The French coach, they went back to his analysis of the game 2 years ago in Dublin.
Yeah.
And they said that we fell into the trap of allowing Ireland to dictate the tempo, the style, and there was a whole other kind of sweeping number of points. But they said basically we allowed Ireland to do what they wanted, and we fell in line. And I think indirectly what Ange is saying here is Bournemouth set out their stall. Bournemouth set out the way they wanted to approach the game, and that we fell into it. Now, this is where I'm going to start getting hard on Mr. Ange. First game I watched with you, Man City, I said, it's okay. He's after picking the team that he picked, but if that attack doesn't work, he needs to change it. He didn't. The Europa League game the last day, he got beat by the 5th or 6th tiered team in the Eredivisie and arguably got his tactics wrong. So this is probably 3 games now in a row, Dermot, and I don't know if you agree with this entirely, where Ange's tactics and the way he set out his team kind of fell into the laps of his opposition and his opponent on the sideline. And I think not the chaos that has been described in this question and the comparability to other games, it is directly comparable to the last 2 games where Ange lost the duel on the sideline.
No, I agree. I think couldn't put it better myself. So that's a good observation of that, really. And then the last question here, he was asked, do you accept that on Thursday night you can't be as open at the back as you were in the first half today? I think the openness just came from us giving the ball away in really key areas. Most of the time we were giving them the ball in pretty crucial areas. Vic had to make some fantastic saves to keep us in it. I don't think it was a case of being open because we were throwing men forward. We just kept giving the ball away. We certainly need to be better in the way that we execute our part of the game. Now, I'm not going to ask a question about the what he answered there because I think it's sort of self-explanatory. But Thursday has now become very, very vital. Is he acknowledging in that answer there, if you're looking reading between the lines, that Thursday is a must-win game for them?
He's acknowledged, I think, that his tenure at Spurs is over, in my view. he's just a caretaker at this stage to the point of where there's nothing left to play for. As regards to Thursday's game, a bit like United season, it's critical for both of us, if we want to have anything worthwhile to talk about for the rest of the season, that we advance to the next round. And failing to do so against a team that like Bournemouth, to their credit, I'd say are 2 or 3 times the team that beat you last Thursday night. I think they're a very impressive outfit this year. But that team that's coming to Tottenham, they hold a 1-0 lead in their own backyard, which has been a bit of a fortress from this year. If Tottenham don't have the game back in their own hands by half time, I would have serious reservations and concerns as to whether or not there is the ability to have a tactic that will cause Tottenham to get back on top of that game. If, like, because the more that team frustrates them next Thursday night, the more confident they'll get. Now, as you know from watching Ireland over the years, holding back after getting a lead is a very dangerous thing.
It is a dangerous game. It's an extremely dangerous game.
And that's the hot potato that they're going to be playing with.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to attack you. They might try and go on a break, but they're not going to attack you consistently.
It's down to us. It's down to us sort to break them down, isn't it? It's down to us to break, and we're not good at breaking down low block sides anyway. So I get what you're getting at. I do get what you're getting at. But Kev, look, that's that press conference looked at. Match day stuff is over. Yay! To Thursday to do it all over again. But what do you want to say to the people? I'll let you do all the like and subscribe. Go on. You give the channel. Go on. You do all the channel housework now. Go on.
Well, we would like you to hop on to our THFC Till I Die YouTube channel. Hit that like, share, subscribe. It's free to do so, and it really helps the channel. And up here then, Matchday Magic, QR code. We'll be over there on Big Up, bringing to you all our associated football and sport-related content. You never know. We might even talk about a bit of GAA at some point during the summer if we're bored. Who knows? We could do anything. And then, of course, our channel sponsors, private internet access, the VPN providers that are top of the line. Everybody here in the THFC TID family has got stuck in, and I'm currently apparently in North Korea, but sure, what do you know? You're muted.
Did you know Kim Jong? Did you know Kim Jong is a massive Spurs fan? Him and Donald Trump watched Tottenham together by using private internet access. If you want to be like Donald Trump, don't be like Donald Trump. No,
actually,
don't be checking tariffs on us.
That Elon's a West Ham fan.
Yeah, he is. He can stay at West Ham too. But guys, that is it. That is Ange Talk Spurs. Thank you so much indeed for watching. Thank you. Hit the like button, subscription button, all that notification stuff. You can follow Kev here on MUFC Spotlight as well. You can follow him on Twitter at THFC Till I Die on our X page. He is also on at Kerry_Rebel. You can find him there as well. But guys, that is your match day stuff. That is match day. What we now? Match week what? Match week 28?
Yeah. Can I actually just end with a small, tiny anecdote? I don't know if you played Assassin's Creed games back in the day and you entered the Animus. The football season for me is like entering the Animus and reliving all the pain and disappointment the way we've been playing this year. And I think on that absolute bombshell, good night, good luck, and we'll see you later on the week.
Yeah, we've got Ireland coming up as well. Yippee!
Yay!
See you later, guys. Bye.
Eyes on the